This is our day 4 on learning API testing using Postman. Using Postman tool. And we already talked about why API testing, what is API testing, how to perform it, right? How part is still going on. And we took example of Regress, one of the testing website. Now let's use one more, which is gorest.co.in. Again, a testing website, which you can use for your API testing. And today, what is the agenda for today? We are going to do a lot of interesting stuff today. We will talk about API methods. We will do practical. We will cover variable setup in Postman, and we will do validation in Postman. So basically there is a test tab, right, that we will learn today. Okay, I'll delete all these things as of now. Delete. Great, let's start now. So everyone, you guys should open gorest.co.in. Gorest.co.in. We are going to do all practical things, and through practical we will learn theory and we will understand more things. So gorest.co.in, these also provide you some APIs for testing purpose. We learn API testing through this. They have fake data, but the responses are real-time responses are there. And we'll talk about their documentation. I'm giving you 2 minutes. You guys will see something, sign up or something. If I click on the login, I should be able to log in through authentication. So you have to create an account to get their API key or the auth key. Okay. You guys have to do that. So I am going to Google, let's say, and okay. I'm already there. So I'm already logged in. What you guys have to do is you have to click there and then select your Gmail, let's say, and generate your API key. Okay. So once you are able to create your account with gorest.co.in, you will get one auth key or bearer token, something like that. And you just copy it and keep it in your notepad. It will be helpful. Fine. What to do now? So let's understand their documentation first. They are saying that they have GraphQL and REST APIs for testing and prototyping. So GraphQL is another thing, right? We are not talking about it as of now. We are doing REST API checks. So they are saying that they have resources. Resources means they have users data, they have post, comment, to-dos, something like that. So let's assume basically they have users detail, right? Username, first name, email, those things, whether users are active or not, those things. Post is basically social media post for all the post or a post for particular user, right? If you see, they have given example also here, right? We'll talk about this example. To-dos, I have not checked it, some to-do details, okay? If you see here, trying it out, they say you can create a user by using this API. You can get user detail by saying user/user ID. You can put or patch. You can basically update the detail by using this again endpoint, and you can delete a user. Great. Then they are saying that there are nested resources. Okay, nested resources means users and post. You can see post of a particular user. It's like this. Then comment on a post for a particular user ID, and then to do's for a particular user ID, something like that. That is nested resource. And then they are saying that you can create user post, you can create comment on a post, something like that. Great. And then they have some information that do not post your personal data, because you are trying all these things for testing, right? Why to reveal your personal data, right, to anybody? So it's better use some testing, test data, not the real data. For page result parameter, page per page should be passed in URL. For example, public v2 users page is equals to 1, per page is equals to 20. So you can, so what they're saying is with users endpoint, you can use some parameters like from which page you want to get the user, and per page how many user you want to see, those things. Request method put post patch delete needs access token. Great. This is very important information here. What they are saying is, if you want to create a new user, so for get, they are not saying. So get is free. Even if you will not use auth key, it's fine. But what they're saying, if you want to create a user, you should have access token. Okay, not the auth key. I was wrong. It's access token. And they have different version of their API, V1, V2. We will use the latest one, V2. And then there is option get your access token. So if I click here, it is showing me my token already, right? So I will copy this token in Notepad so that I will use it. I'm copying it. I'll go back basically, and I'll keep it in Notepad. And because I want to use that. Great. Till this. GraphQL endpoint, we are not talking about this. Features. So it's saying fully secured, quick prototyping, response format negotiation. So it supports JSON and XML. Okay. Technical detail. If you want to develop your own code, right? Support for the options and head verbs, that's fine. And there are parameters. You can use name is equals to Kumar to check a user who has name as Kumar in all the user resource. Great. Let's try now. Let's try now. And there is rate limiting headers, pagination headers. We are not going to use this. Okay, now they will tell you that authentication, how to use that. So what they are saying is the access token is sent as username. So let's open Postman and talk about this. When I create, so let's create a new collection today. So here in the left-hand side, you see collection and there is a plus icon. So click on the plus icon and you will be able to create a new collection. Give it a name, let's say Go REST API check, something like that. Okay. And just click on tab. It will create a new collection here at the left-hand side. So we are able to do that. Close that then. Okay. So I have already, so I don't want to use this. I already have something. So I will delete it later on. I'm not deleting it as of now. And once you create a collection, so what is collection? Collection is a kind of test suite here, which you can, where you can add request, more and more request. Okay. Now I want to create a new request. So I will say here, there are 3 dots here. I can say add request. And let's try something very basic thing. So what they are saying is, if you want to get the user, the simple API call is this. So I'm copying this. This will show me all the users in their system. So let's select get from here. And here I will say https gorest.co.in public v2 users. And I'll click on send. And in the response, if you see, I'm able to see status code is 200 and there are details. There are 2637 ID. Okay. It is showing me some limited data. If I will copy this and let's put it in Notepad here. So it is showing me some detail. It's saying that there are users ID 2637 Saraswati Rana, 2636 is this. So probably the last page detail it is showing me. Okay. I'm just guessing. Maybe the last page users they are showing. The last, how many users are there? Let's check how to, okay. It's good if you can add a plugin in your Notepad JSON viewer. Okay, you can add the plugin. So in your Notepad++, you have plugin admin or plugin manager, right? If you are not able to see, don't worry. Just Google that how to add plugin admin in Notepad++. So in the plugin admin, basically you can add um, different kind of plugins. So I have added just JSON tool. Okay, that's why I'm able to see JSON viewer. So when I do a Control A and in the plugin, if I say JSON viewer, show, you can format also. So I'll click on format JSON. So it will basically format my file. Great. And then I will say JSON viewer. So JSON viewer. So if you see here, there are 10. So if you see here, there are 10 JSON objects. This has started with a rectangular bracket. That means it is an array of JSON objects. So this is one, the first value, then it's a second value, right? Inside that there are user details. Okay, great. JSON viewer, if you see left hand side, I'm able to see in a proper hierarchical format. It's a good thing. So JSON viewer is a good plugin if you can add in your Notepad++. Fine. So I'm able to see this, all users. Let's learn a new thing today. Now it's fine that I'm getting this, but how to validate this? How to validate this? I should validate for the automation purpose. Let's say tomorrow developers has updated something. Let's say they have changed something in the API and they are saying do a smoke check for the APIs. So what you will do, you will come here, your requests are already there, right? So you will click on send and checking everything is coming fine or not, right? That's a manual check. You can do a bit of automation also. So what you can do is you can use test tab. If you see here, my cursor is here, my mouse pointer is here. If I click on the test, I can write my own test here, validation script here, or validation snippets here. What Postman is doing, they are providing you some pre-written script also. If you see here, they are showing you something. So if I want to check response code, you can select from here that this one status code is 200. Let's say I want to check whether status code is coming as 200 or not. You don't have to do anything. Just click here. You will get the code here. It's, if you know a bit of JavaScript, it is the same as JavaScript code where you put test case name and then your function is there. There is no name to this function. So it's an anonymous function, they say. And there is some validation here, right? So it's PM is like postman dot response to have status 200. A bit of this thing you should learn, okay? And now if I click on send, this time, if you see, you don't have to validate. So you don't have to see manually that, okay, 200, okay, is coming. Basically, your test result will say everything that it's passed. My status code is 200. Okay. So this status code is 200. This test case is passed, or a bit of like one of the validation. There may be some other validations also. Let's say I want to check whether this 2637 ID is present or not, right? So what I can do is, there are other ways also. So I can select this response body should contain, let's say I am saying that response body should contain 2637, right? So here the whole code snippet is coming. You don't have to do anything. You just have to check this part that, okay, what I want to check, understand it, what it is saying that pm.response. So this will give it a response, the whole response body, and then it is converting it to a text and then checking it should include 2637. Okay. Right hand side, you will get it. So once you click on test, at the right hand side, you will get snippets. Okay. And this time, if I click on send, it's saying that both things are passed. Okay. Let me make it some random thing so that this will get failed. So I want to check whether Nitesh is present or not. Okay. And if I click on send this time, if you see here, it's saying that status code is 200, that is fine. But body matching with a particular string is failed. Okay. So it's a good thing that you just have to click on send. Don't check everything manually. One of the ways I will check everything manually is there, it's coming or not. Other thing is you write your own test script to check everything. And next time when there is a new build, just click on send and see whether test results all are passed or not. Here you will see green line if everything is passed. Okay. So let me make it back to 637 as of now. If I click on send, see here, it's showing me 2 out of 2. Both are in green. And if something will fail, it will show you in red color. Okay. One thing we learned today, something new. And okay, this is done. What is the next thing? So we can get all users. I can get a particular. So this is showing me a lot of users, right? Let's say I want to get a single user, right? So create a new request. Again, same thing. Go here. Here you can say add request. You will get something here and then give it a name, get single user. Let's say you can give your test case name, meaningful name. And then say where my user ID is 2637. If I hit here, I will be able to see the user is this Saraswati Rana and all the detail about that user. Great. Let's try this. You all should do that thing. So what we are doing here, we have called this endpoint and then passing one query parameter. Okay, so query parameter you can add in two ways. Either you say question mark ID is equals to 2367. And how I got to know that I can do in this way? Because in their documentation, they state it like that, that you can do something like that. That's why we are doing in this particular way. Okay. Somewhere in their code, their documentation, I saw that you can, get the user in this particular way. That's why we are doing it in this way. Okay. Fine. And what else? Now, I don't want to hard code here, right? You don't want to hard code the value here. What you can do then? You can create environment variables. Let's learn a new thing again. Here, if you see at the right-hand side, extreme right top, you have cross icon. Just below that, there is eye icon. If I click here, it's saying that you can create environments, you can create global variables. Great. I'll talk about environment later on. Let's add variable. So here I clicked on add and I'll say user ID, something like that. Okay. And initial value. So you can have your own values. So let's put 2637. Okay. Here I'm putting the values. That's a type. Type default type. Fine. Save this. Now, in my API, here, I will not say ID is equals to 2637. I want to use it from the variable. So if you want to use anything from the variable, use 2 times curly bracket open, and then it will show you all the variables which you have already, or write it explicitly. So I want to use user ID variable. So see here in the URL, it is changing. It's saying user where ID is user ID. So this value will come from the variable setup, which we did. And if I click on send, I'm able to get the same detail. I did not hard code this time. I used it from the variable setup. Okay. Try this thing, guys. Going back, what they're saying is you can create also users. And at the end, they have some other information that what kind of response you can expect from their APIs. Read about it. Theoretically, it is very good. And it will give you more detail about what is 200, what is 201, what is 204 response code, what is 304. Read about it. I'm not going through this as of now. Okay, I will go up and it's saying if you want to create user, you can do curl command. I'm copying this. This command, you can directly run your command prompt also, right? But don't run it randomly. Let me copy this. I'll put it in Notepad so that I'll make you understand that what it is exactly. Okay, language. I don't want to select anything as of now. Let's understand this first. What they are saying is you can run curl command. -h means you have to add it in header. Okay. There are 3 things in the header you can add. You can add authorization. Okay. And what they are saying is in the body part, you can add a new user, right? You want to add a new user, correct? So this is the data which you can add. Great. Let's do this thing. So let's understand -h means header detail you have to add. And then data is very simple. It's more of it's a JSON, right? So it's like this. Let me format it properly. Yes. Great. So this is JSON data we have to put. Okay, fine. Let's do that. So what they are saying is, if you want to create a user, your request should be post request. So let's create a new request like this. I have already created. You just have to say new request, select here from post, and the API is gorest.co.in, then public/v2/users. It is there in there. Here, if you see, this is the API, right? http gorest.co.in public v2 user. I'll show that. Wait, this one. Okay, this is the request for post. And then now the things will come. What they are saying is, in your header, you should add these things. Okay, what they're saying is add except as application JSON. So you have to go to your Postman and add a key here in the header. So this is request header. So at the time of doing a post, we are sending some header detail also. What is header? Header is kind of, what we say is, this is a kind of schema, or it's a kind of other parameters we are passing, right? Other parameters, like for these APIs, right? Our content type is JSON, something like that, right? We want to add JSON. We want to use the JSON, right? It's like this. And we accept also in response JSON. It's like this. And there are other headers also. So technically, when you're doing API testing, right, your question, whenever you are doing API testing, you should ask to your developers, right, that is there a header involved? Do we have to put header detail? And what are the keys and values for that header? Okay? And it's a one-time activity. You don't have to, change it on daily basis. It's generally not like that. Great. So add content hyphen type. The value is application/JSON. Add one more key as accept, and values again application JSON. That's it. Now they have, as per their documentation, they are saying that add authorization also as a bearer and this, but don't do that as of now, because in their new documentation, I read it that you can use auth also, HP basic auth. See here, HTTP basic auth also you can use, or you can use it like this: access token is equals to this. Wow. So let's try this. So what they are saying is, I'll create a new request for you. Add request. I will say, do it with me. Post, and that is go rest users. Great. Header. Let's add header. So one of the thing is accept. Value is application JSON. And another thing is content type. That is also application JSON. And what they're saying is you can use question mark access hyphen token. Is it hyphen? Yeah, hyphen token is equal to the token which you have. So I copied it somewhere, right? Here I have this. So I can use it here. So this is one way. There are other ways also. And in the body, let's put the user data. So select raw, and let's copy this. Let's put it something. So name is equals to testology. Give anything, whatever you want to give. Okay. I am giving you this, and change as per your own. Don't use exactly same. Otherwise, it will give you So gender male, email, I want to put test dot API learning @test.com. Status is active. I am not changing anything. So this is my body part in API test. Great. And I will say send. And successful. It's saying 201 created. It took 1803 milliseconds. And it's saying that for your user, we have created a new ID 4766. Name, email, everything is there. Right. I want to check whether this 4766 basically is present or not. So let's call our get single user, which we created. And in the environment variable, let's edit this. What was the value? No. For a new request we created 4766. For you, it may be different. 4766. 4766. Where to save? Where is the save button? There is no save button. Okay. And get single user, I will hit again. Send. Yes, it's coming. That means what happens is we created the user and we are again, calling another API to cross-check whether that user is actually created or not. So we are able to get in a response that, okay, it's actually created. Fine.